We'll be starting with the central sector scheme and centrally sponsored schemes. Now, the exercise of plan development in India has evolved in two schemes over the time: the central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme. The mains are derived from the pattern of funding and modality of implementation. The sector schemes are 100% funded by the union government, with state functioning as implementing agencies. These schemes are mainly formulated on the subject from the union list. In addition, the central ministries also implement some schemes directly in the states and union territories, which are called central sector schemes, but resources under these schemes are not generally transferred to states. As per the union budget of 2016-17, the existing 1,500 such schemes were restructured into 300 by Government of India to prevent overlapping of expenditure and help in better monitoring and evaluation. Under the centrally sponsored schemes, a certain percentage of funding is borne by the center and the state is fixed and the state in fixed ratio, and the implementation is done by state government. Center sectors sponsored schemes are formulated in subjects from the state list to encourage states to prioritize in areas that require more attention. Funds are routed either through the consolidated fund of states or are transferred directly to the state or district level autonomous bodies or implementing agencies. As per Paijal Committee report, CSS have been defined as schemes which are funded directly by central ministries or departments and implemented by states or their agencies, irrespective of the factor of financing, unless they fall under the center's sphere of responsibility, that is, under union list. Conceptually, both CSS and additional central assistance schemes have been passed by central government to the state governments. The difference between the two arises because of the historical evolution on the way these are being budgeted and controlled, and the release of fund takes place. In case of CSS, the budget are allocated under concerned ministries themselves, which look after the entire process of release of funds too. Now, central plan assistance. The financial assistance provided by GOI to support states' 5-year plans are called center plan assistance or central assistance, which primarily comprises of the following: normal central assistance. The distribution of NCA is formula-based, that is Gadgil-Mukherjee formula, and is united. Gadgil formula of determining the central assistance to the states is being adopted from the 4th plan and revised subsequently. Allocation was made by Planning Commission. Now, additional central assistance. This is provided for implementation of externally aided projects and for which presently there is no ceiling. Unlike NCA, this is scheme-based. The details of such schemes are given in the Statement 16 of the Expenditure Budget, Volume 1. There can be one-time ACA or advance ACA. One-time ACA are assistance given by the Planning Commission to particular states for undertaking important state-specific programs and schemes. These are one-time assistance and thus not recurring. These assistances are discretionary in nature. Advance ACAs are advanced given to special category states in times of financial stress and recoverable in 10 years. Special central assistance. This is provided for special projects and programs, example Western Ghat Development Program, Border Area Development Program, etc. In exceptional situations, ACA may also be provided. This special plan assistance is given only to special category states to bridge the gap between their planning needs and resources. In other words, SPA, ACA for this SPAs are ACAs for special category states. Now, CPA is provided as per scheme of financing applicable for specified purpose approved by the Planning Commission. It is released in forms of grants or loans in varying combinations as per the terms and conditions defined by Ministry of Finance, Department of Expenditure. Central assistance in form of ACA is provided also for various centrally sponsored schemes, which is Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, etc. And SCA is extended to states and union territories as additive to Special Component Plan, that is renamed Subcaste Subplan and Tribal Subplan. Funds provided to the states under the Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme, MPLAD, that is 5 crore per annum per MP, also counts as CA Central Assistance. CSS restructured for the 12th plan period, that is 2012 to 17. The existing 137 CSS was restructured into 66 schemes, including the 17 flagship programs. The government had set up an expert committee chaired by B.K. Chaturvedi, member of the erstwhile Planning Commission, for the purpose, which submitted its report by late 2011. The 14th Finance Commission recommended that sector-specific transfer from union to states should be confined to sectors like education, health, drinking water, and sanitation. However, in view of preponderance of CSS being intervention in key sectors of national importance, the Government of India kept 50% of the 66 ongoing CSS in the budget of 2015 and 16. The balance were in the process of either being taken into central sector or reformulated as a new umbrella scheme, or were transferred to the states. The CSS funds are released as central assistance to state plans, which are routed through states budget, new method as per the union budget of 2014-15. This provides greater autonomy, authority, and responsibility to the states in implementation of the scheme. Now, in March 2015, to rationalize the CSS, a subgroup of chief ministers was set up in pursuance of the decision taken by the Governing Council of Niti Aayog. The guiding principle of the subgroup was defined as union and the state duties to work as Team India in spirit of cooperative federalism towards realization of goals of Vision 2022. When India will celebrate 75th year of independence, the broad objectives of the vision are providing basic amenities to all citizens in equitable and just manner for ensuring life with self-respect and dignity, providing appropriate opportunities to every citizen to realize her potential. Accordingly, the existing 50 CSS were rationalized and restructured into 28 umbrella schemes, in normal times number not to exceed 30 by the Union Budget 2016-17. This will avoid overlapping of expenditure, provide visibility and impact. The major features of the restructuring are given below. The CSS has been divided into core and optional schemes. The new expenditure sharing pattern for the core scheme for the 8 northeastern states and 3 Himalayan states is 90:10 for states, and for other states it is 60:40, and for union territories 100% to be borne by the center. For optional schemes, the expenditure sharing pattern is 8 northeast, 3 Himalayan states, 8:20 for other states, and 50:50 for UTs, 100% borne by center. Amongst the core schemes, those for special protection and special inclusion should form the core of core and be first charge on available funds of National Development Agenda. Funds for optional schemes would be allocated by the states by the Ministry of Finance as a lump sum, and the states would be free to choose which optional scheme they wish to implement. In such schemes, states will be given flexibility of portability of funds to any other CSS. Henceforth, the CSS will come up only in key identified sectors which comprise the National Development Agenda to be decided by Niti Aayog in coordination with the Governing Council. Niti Aayog to have concurrent jurisdiction in monitoring of the schemes in the states and the central ministries. Third-party evaluation by Niti Aayog. In 2019-20, the CSS were broadly classified into 2 categories: core of core schemes and core schemes. Funding pattern remained unchanged. The list of 30 schemes is given below. Now, the core of core schemes are National Social Assistance Program, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program, Umbrella Scheme for Development of Scheduled Caste, Umbrella Scheme for Development of Scheduled Tribes, Umbrella Program for Development of Minorities, Umbrella Program for Development of Other Vulnerable Groups. Now, core schemes are Green Revolution, White Revolution, Blue Revolution, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Gram Sadak Yojana, Awas Yojana, Jal Jeevan Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission Urban and Gramin, National Health Mission, National Education Mission, National Program for Midday Meal School in Schools, Umbrella ICDS, Mission for Protection and Empowerment of Women, National Livelihood Mission, Ajivika, Jobs and Skill Development, Environment, Forestry and Wildlife, Urban Rejuvenation, that is Amrut and Smart City Mission, Modernization of Police Force, Infrastructure Facilities for Judiciary, Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, PMJY Ayushman Bharat, Border Area Development Program, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Urban Scheme, At present, the schemes under the process of evaluation before they can be streamlined as per the recommendation of 15th Finance Commission. Experts believe that the Commission may suggest a measurable and performance-based incentive related to the schemes for states. The terms of reference given to the Commission includes achievements in implementation of flagship schemes of Government of India, disaster-resilient infrastructure, suitable development goals, and quality of expenditure. Thus, the schemes are headed for further restructuring. Independent Evaluation Office and Independent Evaluation. Okay, so now it was created by Government of India in February 2014 at an arm's distance from the government with an objective of strengthening public accountability of some important social sector programs which account huge resource mobilization such as the flagship programs conceived on the lines of Independent Evaluation Office of the IMF. The body was created on the basis of international experience in cooperation with the World Bank and the British DFID, that is Department for International Development. It was modeled on the lines of Mexico's National Council for Evaluation of Social Development Policy. The IEO was an independent office attached to Planning Commission under a governing board chaired by Deputy Chairman of Planning Commission. The IEO was funded by Planning Commission and had at its head a full-time Director General in the rank and status of Member of Planning Commission, Union Minister of State. The DG had a tenure of 3 years, extendable to 5 years. Its staff was selected by DG without any interference and to have its independent budget. It was felt that the government programs can benefit enormously from concurrent independent evaluation. Presently, concurrent evaluation was done by concerned ministries on an ongoing parallel process. Expert evaluation of programs that have been in operation was done by Program Evaluation Organization of the Planning Commission. The IEO was expected to strengthen this evaluation process. Main aim of the office was to help improve the effectiveness of government policies and programs by assessing their impact and outcomes. To set guidelines and methodology for all evaluations done by various departments and agencies and encourage a culture of openness and learning in government systems. To connect India to best international evaluated evidence in development practice and knowledge to learn from other success and mistakes. Main feature about the functioning of the office may be summed up as given below. It will conduct independent evaluation of planned programs, especially flagship programs, and assess their effectiveness, relevance, and impact. Besides, it has the freedom to conduct independent evaluations on programs which have access to public funding or explicit guarantee from the government. The work program of IEO will be prepared through an open process of consultation, including feedback from civil societies, and will be made public. The IEO will prepare the terms of reference for all independent evaluations, which will be conducted by selected institutions and researchers selected on competitive basis. IEO will provide guidance to any agency or department of the government to improve its quality and self-evaluation and monitoring system. Such support is intended to bring all evaluations under a common internationally accepted methodology, help achieve better development outcomes, and encourage a culture of learning in the government. Besides making available on its website and other public avenues, its report will be submitted to Parliament and Prime Minister's office. It will also make internationally available findings from independent and professionally evaluated Indian programs in spirit of South-South learning and cooperation. IEO will represent India as its independent evaluation authority at international forums on development and effectiveness and will endeavor to improve India's evaluation system in line with international best practice. The IEO handed over its first report to the government in September 2014, and in the following weeks, DG of IEO was relieved from his service. Later on, IEO was merged into a newly constituted monitoring and evaluation body, the Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office, DMEO. The function and special features of IEO still reflects in the new body. Now, Program Evaluation Organization was established in October 1952 as an independent organization under the general guidance and direction of Planning Commission with a specific task of evaluating the community development program and other intensive area development schemes. The evaluation setup was further strengthened by development of methods and techniques of evaluations in the first plan and setting up evaluation machinery in the state during the third and fourth plans. Gradually, with the extension of programs and schemes in a variety of sectors, which is agriculture, cooperation, rural industries, fisheries, health, family welfare, rural development, rural electrification, public distribution, tribal development, social forestry, etc., the evaluation work undertaken by PEO was extended to other important CSS. The broad functions of PEO include undertaking evaluation of selected programs and schemes under implementation as requirement of various divisions of the Planning Commission, central ministries and departments of Government of India. The evaluation studies are designed to assess the performance, the process of implementation, the effectiveness of delivery system, and impact of program. The objective of PEO are objective assessment of process and impact of the development programs, identifying areas of success and failure at different stages of administration and execution, and analysis of reasons for success or failure. Examining extension method and people's reaction thereto, and deriving lessons for future improvement in the formulation and implementation of new programs or schemes. The PEO was merged into a newly constituted monitoring and evaluation body, the Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office. The functions and the special features of PEO very well reflect in the new body. The Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office. The Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office was constituted by merging the erstwhile Program Evaluation Office and Independent Evaluation Office in September 2015. As an attached office under the Niti Aayog, it aims at fulfilling monitoring and evaluation mandate, that is function of the Aayog. It is entrusted with building an M&E ecosystem in the country with the following function: monitoring process and efficacy of policies and program, taking initiative to help improvements, including necessary mid-course corrections, evaluating implementation of programs and identification of needed resources to strengthen success and scope of delivery. As part of Niti Aayog, DMEO has advisory powers across ministries and departments of the Union government, and is one of the few institutions within the government to provide a cross and interministerial perspective. It has mandate of technical advisory to states also. For M&E, the output-outcome framework as prescribed by the Union Budget 2019-20 has been evolved. This framework has measurable indicators for objectives, that is outcomes, for all centrally sponsored schemes and central sector schemes. Sectoral reviews are done by the office on the basis of outcomes achieved by the schemes. All the functions and special features of the erstwhile bodies IEO, PEO are still with DMEO, added with several new and dynamic features to serve the change developments needs of the country on path of transformation. That'll be it for this video. In the next video, we'll be covering Niti Aayog.